Okay, gonna wait just about 30 seconds to a minute here. Get any last little minute stragglers coming in. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get started here. How y'all doing? Thanks for joining us today. My name's Ian McCracken, and we're going to be going over the PaladinGo Count module, and we're going to be doing a little bit more work on showing you what that Datalogic Memor device looks like. Makes inventory counting easier, faster, and far more mobile through your store. This session is focused on giving you a clear picture of what's possible, especially inventory counts. Having counts have, especially if inventory counts have been traditionally time-consuming or tied to a single workstation. So if you're moving about your store, going back over to your terminal to make your counts, this is directed to you and how to make your life easier there. Here's how we'll spend our time today. We'll start with a quick overview of PaladinGo, including how it works, how it's activated, and then we'll do a count module and Datalogic Memor device overview. And finally, we'll have a demonstration that will show you how these pieces work in real life. Let's begin again with a review of mobile point of sale. At its core, mobile point of sale, or MPOS, is exactly what it sounds like. It takes the functionality of a traditional checkout counter, putting it into a mobile device like a smartphone or a tablet. With PaladinGo, that means doing retail tasks from anywhere you have an internet connection, not just the store or your local network. Think of it as a checkout portion of Paladin, point of sale, right in the palm of your hand, with flexibility that the mobile option brings. So being able to do it anywhere you have a data connection. That's on cell phone if you have the Memor 17, or on Wi-Fi if you just have the Memor 12. Would recommend getting the 17 over the 12 in my mind. PaladinGo is our mobile companion to Paladin Point of Sale. It puts the store information and tools directly on a mobile device, so you're not tied to a counter or back office computer to do your work. With PaladinGo, you can check store product performance, look up store details, look up inventory details, create and save purchase orders, recall quotes, special orders, and even complete sales transactions. Some of you may remember earlier mobile solutions like Mobile 2 Checkout. These capabilities are now unified and expanded into the PaladinGo platform. You'll notice a QR code here. That's going to link you to the Apple Play Store or Google Play Store, Apple App Store or Google Play Store. For downloading the app, please feel free to highlight that with your camera and get that downloaded. You could activate that on our session today very easily. If you have any questions on pricing and things like that, feel free to give our support staff a call. Activating PaladinGo is extremely straightforward. First, you download that app. You can highlight, you can put that QR code at the top right there with your phone camera right now, and that'll take you to your app store to download. From there, inside of Paladin, you go to Maintain and then PaladinGo, and right there, you'll see Sync New Device at the bottom right. Go ahead and click on that, and you'll see a QR code for you to scan to sync your device to your Paladin. And if you need any help or assistance in setting that up, please feel free to give us a call and we'll get that going for you. Again, we can go over pricing at that time if you'd like as well. Now, we're going to talk specifically about PaladinGo Count before we get into our demonstration today. The Count module supports inventory counting and also provides the same RF unit dynamic alerts that you got before. So things like overstock, shrinkage, low stock warning, clearance suggestions, all that is going to be into the PaladinGo Count module as well as it was in the RF gun. Beyond alerts, the module lets you view detailed information like pricing, order control information, location, and even remote stock check for the item. So if you're synced up with one of those EDI suppliers that let you check the stock for your local warehouse, you can do that from PaladinGo as well inside that Count module. You can also choose how counts are handled, whether you overwrite your existing quantities or append them, just like you had on the previous RF gun. You're also able to receive inventory and even print results right away or later. Even print the bin tags right away or later. So you can print that on scan, or you can print that like batch printing like you could do back on the RF gun. This combination of visibility and flexibility is what makes the Count module such a powerful inventory tool. And now we're going to get started with our demonstration here. Give me just 1 minute to get my little handy dandy test thing set up here. There we go. Let's get that full screen so we don't have to see those annoying borders. Okay, and now we are ready to log in here. We'll type in our employee ID. If you don't know what your employee ID is, just go ahead and sign into Paladin. And when you're signing into Paladin, you'll see it to the left of your name. So if you're like, oh, what's my ID? It's right there. You see it every time you log in. Okay, I already have something pulled up here in our screen. Let's just go back out to the very beginning. So this is our dashboard right here. We've gone over checkout already, gone over a couple other modules here, including performance. Today, we're gonna be doing count. So coming in here to count, you can see we have no inventory item pulled up quite yet. Fun thing you can do, this magnifying glass over here at the top, just to the right of the barcode scanner, and just to the right of the barcode scanner, I should say. Click on that right here, and let's say we're looking for a hammer. Type that in and search that. Now we have a whole bunch of results right here. Let's say we're going to check if this is the right one. No sales since. I'll put this item on clearance. We have a clearance warning appearing for this item right here. We're going to go ahead and click no on that for now. Now we have our item pulled up right here. And so we can put on our stock on hand, put on our price for the item if we'd like. And down here, we can see we've got a few options. Down here, we've got last sale date, which is pretty awesome. Minimum stock, maximum stock, suggested order quantity, and any remote stock checks we have rigged up are going to be appearing right here. We have those set to drop down menus because, you know, these are meant to be used on phones as well as on tablets. So some of the real estate that some screens are going to have are not quite adequate to be able to have these displayed from the beginning. But let's say you need to go back, this wasn't quite the right hammer. You can go back into that search and it maintains your previous search. So you can go ahead and choose a different hammer if, let's say, that was not quite the right one for us. Okay. Now we have those prompts I mentioned before, those alerts that we had. Type in our part number right there. Now we have a low stock warning going on. We're in count. It's asking us if we want to throw an order in. Let's say we want to order 10 of them. Order. Now it's going to put that on a purchase order for us to interact with later. Let's go ahead and set our stock on hand to 5. And our price right here, we're going to go ahead and put that at $13.99. And we can go ahead and save that item. And that's going to be set for overwrite, which you saw at the bottom there. I'll pull that back up just to show again. Now we have our stock on hand of 5. If we wanted to append, we simply go down here and switch over to append. And then we can have our stock on hand set for 1. Go ahead and put our price back to $13.99 again and save that. Now we can go ahead and pull that item up. We should be seeing 6 stock on hand. All right, so you just have to change this mode down here. And if you wanted to receive it, just flip over to receive, and now you're receiving items into your inventory as opposed to just counting. So if you need to make any of those changes, you can. And if you want to print later, you can hit that right there. And then now you're not going to be printing either at on scan or on save. It's going to be printing this later for us. And if we need to, while we're working in this mode, we can hit set right here at the bottom left, and then we can choose a location for us to interact with. And then from that point, we're going to be working in that location. And then as we're setting things, it's going to keep that over. So let's go ahead and test that out. Let's go to glass area. And then we can go to 4241. This is another clearance warning we have. This item has been sold in a little bit here. So we're going to go ahead and hit yes on that. We're still in glass area. So now if we set this stock on hand to overwrite for 3, we go ahead and put our price in there of $29.95. We hit that save. Now we've got that item set on clearance. And this prompt is, we're working on it right now. It's going to pop up right now anytime an item is eligible for clearance. And it's not quite fixed to add it to clearance yet. We're still working on it, working on a few things. That's why you get 6 months free. And that is essentially the count module. All the accessibility you had for the RF unit is going to be in this one mode. You don't have to sign out of the whole prompt again to be able to sign back in and just change the mode that you're operating in, if that's override or append. You don't have to back out to be able to select your location again. That's just right here on the same screen. So it's much less cumbersome to do a lot of things that were fairly annoying to do on the old RF gun. Like if you wanted to change from overwrite to append, before you would have to press F1, sign all the way back out to the beginning of the gun to get back into it to access that other mode. Whereas this time you have all of those controls accessible on this screen. So I think it's a big improvement over that RF unit, especially not being tied to those RF style base stations, which I have troubleshot way too much in my day. I'm so happy we're moving past those base stations there. But yeah, that is the RF, sorry, not RF, that is the PaladinGo Count module. So we're gonna get out of that screen here. We can review a little bit more if some questions bring up some different functionality there. So if you have some questions, keep those in mind for a little later on here. Okay, now to really get into that PaladinGo Count module and to be able to use that in that retail environment, a really, really good device for this is that Memor, a mobile 2D scanner. So the Memor is a rugged handheld device designed for inventory work. It scans barcodes quickly. It has a built-in scanner to it, and it performs well in different lighting conditions. So for our phones right here, they don't do quite well when you have bad lighting and you're trying to see that barcode sometimes. The Memor scanner will have like the trigger attachment, so it has an actual scanner on it. Offers really strong connectivity. The old RF units, again, were tied to that radio frequency base station. So if you had like a piece of plywood between that base station and that RF unit, sometimes you had some patchy connections. I've known some people who have done some pretty elaborate setups to get their base stations positioned in their stores right, and this eliminates that entirely, as long as you have a decent Wi-Fi connection, or if you were smart and got the Memor 17 with the cellular capability, as long as you have a cell data connection. Offers, so together with PaladinGo and the Memor device, creates a mobile inventory solution that's fast, reliable, and purpose-built for those retail environments. Again, Memor 17 as opposed to the 12, that's my recommendation, just so you get that cell capability. Okay, if you want to dig deeper after today, we have a lot of resources available at our help portal. You can find guides for PaladinGo setup and the count module, as well as PaladinGo Launchpad, along with recorded webinars that talk about real-world use cases. These resources are a great way to reinforce what you see today or explore features at your own pace. Okay, but I also want to highlight our upcoming webinar on GM ROI, why it's so important to your business. It's happening on April 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can register at the Paladin's webinar page, portal.paladinpos.com/webinars. If inventory efficiency, profitability are top priorities, this session is going to be perfect for what we've discussed today. Before we wrap up, I want to point a few ways that you could continue building your expertise. You can explore retail insights at paladinpointofsale.com/retail science, access self-help articles in our help portal, and watch additional webinars on demand. Thanks again for spending the time with me today. I hope this session gives you a clearer picture of PaladinGo and the count module, and can simplify how the PaladinGo and the count module can simplify inventory and support your day-to-day operations. And now let's move over to any questions that people have. So we've got some 19 people here. How y'all doing? See for questions. I can also go back over any portion of that count module if you'd like. I'm just realizing here that I don't have the lighting set up. Oh well. We do have some questions here. This question prompt is not good. Okay. Are you able to turn off the 15-line RF options like prompting for closeout? You know, that's a really good question. I don't believe you can turn those off in this version here. Let's go ahead and see. That would be found in your settings. No, actually, I'm not sure. The settings would be under file setup and then company. And then you would go to the RF pane down there, and there's where you can control if the RF unit would pop for clearance or for, you know, those other like low stock warnings and prompts. So I imagine the control would be in there, but I haven't personally tested if unchecking those also disables it for the PaladinGo mobile. I don't imagine it would, but it's a possibility. That's where you would affect it if you could affect it, if that answers your question there, Jonathan. Depending on your question there, so this is an add-on with additional fees. So that depends. If you are talking about the count module itself inside of PaladinGo, that is not an add-on to PaladinGo that requires any additional fees from Go. But the pricing for Go is $10 per month per device, which I think is fantastic pricing for that, given the functionality you get, basically another terminal in your store. So the count module itself does not have any additional cost for it, in addition to the PaladinGo package itself, which is $10 a month per device. Awesome, great question. You can purchase that at the Paladin web store, or you can give us a call and we can also make that purchase for you, Dulce. Sorry, I'm terrible with names, D-U-L-C-E. So yeah, you can purchase that Memor device from our web store, or you can just give us a call and we can take care of that for you over the phone. Hey there, John. Stock on hand, quantity appear on that screen. I don't see it. That's a good question. Let's double check that and let's see here. So let's go into that count. Let's just search for handy dandy hammer. Let's go like this. And then you're searching for hammer. I think I might have lost my connection to the database, but we'll see. That looks like probably the case. Let's go ahead and sign out here. See if it'll let me sign back in. Nope. All right. Not a good advertisement there. Give me 1 second. Get this synced back up because I'm curious as well. I think it should be in there. Let's double check. And you can also see how to sync this stuff now because I'm going to have to do it again real quick. Let's sync. So we got CD 526933. Try this again. My apologies, guys. I want to check that myself. I believe it is in there, but I just want to be. No, the current stock on hand is in there. Sorry, I don't know why. It's displayed in the top portion of the screen just below the part number. So it is in there, and I was using that as we appended the stock on hand and did that second count. You could see it right there near the top. I'll continue trying to get this synced, but yes, it is displayed there. The Memor can, so in the checkout module, if you have it rigged up with block chip, it'll have an external device that you can use as like the credit card reader that hooks up with Bluetooth to the PaladinGo device. So Carrie's question there, does the Memor accept payments? Yes, it does. You just need to have that external card reader, and we're working on it for TriPOS right now, TriPOS. It's where we'll have that card reader, and I believe there's ways to that we're working on. I don't want to say anything more on that, but we're working on the TriPOS stuff as well. That's a high priority for us. In checkout module, if you don't have an external credit card reader, you have to use charge, or I believe it has a cash option if I remember right. My apologies, can't remember off the top of my head right now. But if you have no credit card option, then charge and cash are going to be your primary methods. And if you have that external credit card reader, Jeremy, you're going to be using credit card just the same as you could on your main terminals. So Nancy's asking here, is it possible to see last received date in the count module and show alt part numbers or serial numbers? That's a really good question there, Nancy. I'm not sure if it's possible right now. I would have to sync this up and then check, which it's not syncing right now. We're in a test environment, so it's not 100% representative of syncing and pairing things on the computer currently, so my apologies for that. And I'm not sure if you can see that or not without me looking at the count module right now. I don't have that screen quite memorized yet, but still working on it there. You can test it if you'd like. Just download PaladinGo on your mobile device now. I can get that QR code back up on the screen if we'd like, just so we can see that. Let's get that count module. Sorry, not count module. Go ahead and scan that QR code, Nancy, if you'd like. And I would just try downloading the application, syncing into your PaladinGo into your store there, and then just checking. You know, it's $10 a month, but that is free for the first 6 months from you signing up your first device. So I would encourage you to give that a shot there 100%. I realize now I wasn't showing the QR code properly because my displays were flipped. That's awesome. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, any more questions here? I believe I've answered plenty of them. Apologies, I don't have that info off the top, Nancy, but again, just download it and give it a shot. And I would just try that myself there. Okay, give another couple of seconds here for questions to come in. Okay, cool. Looks like we've got no more questions coming in. Awesome. Oh, when does the 6 months period end? 6 months period ends from the 6 months from when you download your first and sync your first device to Paladin. So 6 months starts as soon as you sync your device to PaladinGo. Once that billing cycle runs through, that's when your 6 months begins there. So as soon as you start using it, that's when your 6 months period starts. All right, and then wait until 1 minute since the last question, and then we'll end it there. I'm really a huge fan of PaladinGo. I think it is a much needed piece to our ecosystem. I think it's going to add a lot of functionality for people. It's essentially like another terminal in your store, but it's only costing you $10 a month. And if you've got to do a ridiculous amount of counting, you can just get a bunch of people, you know, hire a bunch of high school kids, get PaladinGo on their phones, give them access to just the count module, because you can control what people have access to from right in here under maintain in PaladinGo just by unchecking their different boxes, and they can go and count your store like crazy. And then when you're done, you can just delete those devices and they don't have access to your stuff anymore. So I think it adds a lot more functionality. You can real quick add another 5 devices and then start rolling very easily to get your counts done that you need to, or whatever additional work you need to get done that can happen. And when you're done with those people using it, you can just delete them out of your system and they're no longer going to be counted against you from there. So I think it's a pretty awesome advent, or a pretty awesome addition to our system. And I hope more and more people start using it and we get more and more feedback for how we can make it better. So start using it. If you notice some ways to improve it, or if you have feedback for us or any bugs, that's why we're giving it 6 months free. Feel free to give us a call, let us know, and we'll try to make that system better for you in the future. I'm going to go ahead and pause the webinar here. Thank you guys for your time today. It was a pleasure, and I hope you all have yourself a good one. If you have any questions at all, feel free to give us a call here at Paladin, and we'll answer those as best we can. Bye-bye.